Who's Manali, the individual, in the beginning?
Always inquisitive. So before everything started building upon me, I think the Manali,
What does transformation truly mean to you, Manali?
understanding what you need and then working on those skills.
Why do talented professionals often fail to become effective leaders?
A student is to really just get a degree. Why? Because he wants to get a job.
What are some simple daily practices professionals can adopt to manage stress better, manage their emotions better, manage their well being better, Manali?
Writing goals should be the most important thing.
Whose transformation you thought was difficult, but that individual made it happen and has stayed with you from then on?
I started with myself because, like I told you, right, there were a lot of questions that I had as I was growing up, and a really bad thing happened with me 5 years ago. Anand.
Ganpati
Ganpati
Bappa!
Bappa!
Moria!
Moria!
So, welcome back, people. You must be wondering as to what's happening here. But before I really talk about it, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the PPT, where we go beyond frameworks, beyond presentations, and beyond job titles to uncover the stories, struggles, and successes of incredible learning and development leaders. Over the past few episodes, we had some truly inspiring conversations. Anand Sridhar reminded us that authentic leadership begins with self awareness and genuine human connection. Ankita Bharadwaj showed us how emotions and relationships are the invisible threads that bind successful teams together. Alicia Gupta, on the other hand, highlighted the importance of courage, adaptability, and continuous learning in today's ever changing world. Today, I have someone who has explored multiple dimensions of learning. So, today we explored a different kind of transformation. What if the big barrier to leadership wasn't skill but stress? What if the most important conversation you need to master is the one happening inside your own mind? Joining us today is an award winning leadership coach, EFT master practitioner, certified transformation coach, and someone who has helped over 35,000 professionals unlock their potentials. She combines behavioral science, emotional well being, communication mastery, and transformational coaching in a way that creates lasting change. Please join me in welcoming my very dear friend, my Akka, Manali Zunjarao, to Beyond the PPT. Manali, it's wonderful to have you with us.
Thank you, Gosh. I mean, all that introduction and all, I suddenly feel beefed up. So, thank you so much. That was a wonderful introduction. And with my best friend, with my brother, talking what we usually talk. But now in a formal environment, just feels like wow.
No, no,
Usually we do
we
this
can
off
we can
screen,
we
right?
can keep it as informal as we want to, Manali. But you know what? It's very important that the audience also understands,
Mm.
what your journey has been, because not everybody is multifaceted like you, right? And you have been able to bring to life not just learning. You've been able to bring to life transformation in people. You've been able to bring to life your own matlab, aspirations, right? That you always have been wanting to do in terms of helping people, right? So I think that's something that is
Um,
commendable, and that's something that I think our audience are so looking forward to hear from my Akka Manali, right? So Manali, I'm going to straight dive into questions because I'm sure it's very important. Um, so Manali, before becoming a leadership coach and all that you've done, a transformer, right? Um, who was Manali, the
Mm,
individual, in the beginning?
wow, that's a fantastic question. With so many layers that keep peeling off yourself as you grow, that question kind of really makes me feel nice about it. So, good question in there. So, who is Manali? The Manali that you have seen everywhere is Manali, which means that the reason why I became what I became is because I always had a big why written up here, that why certain things happen, why this is the cause of that. Why is my mom the way she is, or why is my father the way he was, or why are the people around me the way they are. The sky is blue. What is the reason behind it? So all the things that started, crawling upon my senses, the me that was there used to be always inquisitive. So before everything started building upon me, I think the Manali that was someone who was super curious and inquisitive and always crazy for something new, something crazy, that there has to be something more than that. So I'll tell you what I used to think, okay, as a child. So I used to feel that everything that is around me, it's just like, it's built, it's not natural, it's just not the way it is. So there are some walls, and beyond those walls there is a big castle, there is a big horse, there is a big elephant, there's a big garden. So all those kind of things are right there, and I'm just here to learn something. And once I learn my lesson, I'll be put back where I belong. So I used to think like that there is a different world, and I'm in this world because I'm supposed to learn something. So I think that made me question quite a lot of things, and the bubbly me, and the entirely all the time the kind of feedback that I get from my people is, how do you get so much of energy? Is because I think the inquisitive me keep pushing myself. So that is me, Anand.
Uh, one thing that I can definitely understand is curiosity
Mm,
was your, game. And
yeah.
you also had a lot of imagination, Manali, wherein you could have
Yes.
imagined that there are these things beyond the wall. And because we are talking about beyond the PPT, I must say that you definitely were a very handful for your parents to manage.
I sure was. I sure was. I sure was.
Okay. Manavi, this is very important, and I think people should truly learn this, which is what does transformation truly mean to you, Manali?
Wow, lovely question again. So, first of all, one needs to know what they want. If at all they don't know what they want, they need to at least be curious about something. Sometimes it's so when I speak to my clients, for example, for EFT, or for transformation coaching and basic communication skills as well, uh, they usually come with a thing like, I want A and I want B, and you tell me how to go about it, and I'm going to do it. So usually people feel that getting things on the platter would give them everything that they need. So transformation is first of all about understanding what you need and then working on those skills. So we need to get to a point. We know that we are at a point A and we need to get to a point B. And what are the things that we need to do on our way is transformation. Do I really need to get transformed is also a question. So people are like, I'm fine the way I am. I don't need any transformation. But in that case, I would say everybody needs to evolve. Everybody needs to learn on their path in between A and B. And when you see that refined version, that better polished version of yourself, that would be the transformation. So it cannot be just physical, because people are like, oh, 10 saal pehle mein aisa tha, and now I have become like that.
हाँ,
So 10
मैं
years and 10
पहले जैसा
kgs.
हुआ करता था, अब मैं ऐसा
हाँ,
हो गया.
ऐसा it's not about the external thing, it's about internal. So maybe someone would say that 10 साल पहले मैं किसी को जज किया करता था, अब मैं किसी को जज नहीं करता हूँ या करती हूँ. So that is transformation, that we don't know how to go about certain things. People try to fit in by becoming someone else. So transformation is about learning what you are in real.
Very true. And I also believe that, transformation is not something that is a one-time thing, Manali. When you
Mm,
are on the journey, it's more
mm,
like an elevator, right? It kind
mm,
of keeps moving up. It
mm.
kind of helps you keep looking up. That's again, I think, a very, very important thing, Manali. What do
Absolutely.
you right? So I think that that's something that we really need to bear in mind. But at the
Mm.
same time, the elevator and or the escalator also can go down. So at
Yeah.
that point in time, what is the strategy that you have to, pull yourself together and also continue on the transformational journey without having to, feel, bashed, or take
Yeah.
feeling that you are kind of unsuccessful. No, that's not the case, right? It's a
Yeah.
choice that
Yeah.
we make at the end of the
Yeah.
day,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So, I over here, I just want to mention to my audience that Manali is an EFT expert. She did that therapy with me only once, and I
Yeah.
could see that change in me, which lasted for a very long time. Of course, it was my choice to kind of, slip
Keep
back in.
practicing.
But she made sure that it at least lasted for, I don't know, a few weeks, which kind of made a world of difference where I kind of had that release in me. I had that kind of a feel, which kind
Release.
of turned very positive. So thank you so much, Manali, for that.
You're welcome.
Uh, and I would encourage my audience to reach out to Manali on LinkedIn, on Instagram, because she's very active and she definitely would be able to help you with all your emotional troubles, your negativity,
Yeah.
and and she does this with so much concern and so much heart. That it actually happens. It definitely happens. I think that's something that I can vouch for, and I'm sure all her clients can vouch for.
Thank you.
Right. So I'm going to move to a different segment,
Sure.
Manali, and this is based on your experience only.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
That you know there are so many talented professionals today, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them actually struggle in organizations,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because of whatever reason, right? So, why do talented professionals often fail to become effective leaders?
So, having worked with, I think, now 35, 45,000 plus people, which is a mix of campuses to corporates. One thing about human behavior that I want to specifically talk about is the moment we are done with our graduation, for example. So, a target for example, target for a student is to probably just get a degree. Why? Because he wants to get a job, right? Somebody from a management course would want to get into business or something like that. So they have those bigger or smaller milestones that I have to finish education because dot dot dot. I have to complete my degree because I want to get into a job. And once they get into a job, they feel they are settled. All right. So for them, it's their job. The career is set aside. They don't understand now what am I supposed to do unless the organization makes an effort for continuous improvement or certain skills that they need, and everything is laid on to them. They don't even know if they really need it. So I've done so many virtual trainings, right, for corporates as well. So usually when they sit, I do ask this question to my audience, as to why are you here. Let's say it's a conflict management session. So why are you here? I'm not kidding you. At least 70 to 75% people said that because it's a part of our continuous improvement program. It's there on our appraisal sheet as to how many trainings did you complete. So it eventually settles down to something like a like a tick mark activity or something like that. The reason why managers always feel they've got it all because they are managers is because they don't know what is the difference between leaders and managers.
To that.
um, right? So a lot of people said, oh, you know what, that person's a leader, it's an inborn leader, full leader, oh my god, we'll to look up to them. But those skills are gained. you know. You do leadership sessions, you read books and everything. It's literally like sitting on the side of the swimming pool reading books that eventually you'll know how to swim, right? What needs to be thrown into the
Into
water.
the pool,
uh,
correct.
yeah, and that's how you learn. And then one day you just know how to float, the other day you just, the next day you know how to put your hands around, next day you know legs, and then someday you'll be like, oh, you know what, I know how to do this trick in the swimming pool, because you've learned that. Basic is
Exactly.
something that you've already learned, and then you gain those skills. You cannot sit somewhere and wait for the skills to fall upon you. um, a lot of times when I, for example, join somewhere as a fresher, and let's say I'm tenured enough, maybe a decade old, right? I still think like a fresher. I don't think that I need to bring innovation. I don't think I need to have that initiative. I don't think that I need to add certain skills to my knowledge in order for me to become a leader. One example I really want to throw in over here, right? So one of my friend works in an organization, and he joined as a, I think, as a technical architect or something, and I think it's a similar position, but for a different business unit. There joins another guy. Now workload starts coming in, right? What do you do when workload starts coming in? We need more workforce, right? So we wait for some HR or some manager or leader to notice that, you know what, this X person needs somebody to assist, or we need another person in the team. If notices that, there's always that thing, oh, I do so much work every day, I have so much work every day. Do we think that we need someone else to assist us? First thing that happens is insecurity, that if someone else gets to know my job, I'm going to lose my job. That's exactly where maximum people fail, because they, if they do not delegate, they will not move from manager to leader, right? So going back to this story, this person feels that the friend of mine feels that he doesn't need anyone, he can do, like, I'm like all 10 horsepower and stuff like that. So it's like, I'll do everything, I'll take the load. And the other one, you know what he does? He suggests to the HR that this is the kind of work that I have, and I'm going to need someone to help me, and I'm going to recommend you somebody who I have worked with, and we can add that person in. That person gets added in, okay? Because the HR doesn't have so much of time to get into subject matter expertise, right? They can hire a person, but into the subject matter
Correct,
expertise, they would
correct.
need someone over there. So this person suggests another one, that person gets hired, this one who's working at, just like a start kind of a level, gets promoted as a TL, and the new one joining becomes his reporting. Voila, like, really, that's leadership. What is leadership? You come with solutions. Growth mindset is leadership, solution mindset is leadership.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Shifting away the insecurities that if I teach somebody something that I know, I'm going to lose my job. No, you are actually equipping someone, and that gives you the power to step ahead. So that
True
is
that.
leadership. Yeah.
Very, very, very well articulated, I must say,
Yeah.
Manali. Very well articulated. So I could kind of understand two things: that you can't learn to swim by reading a book, and when I'm trying to show my horsepower, we ultimately turn into donkeys. Because we
Nice one there, bro.
because we aren't asking for help, we are not reaching out for something that is kind of progressive thinking, if I may put it
Mm,
that way,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
And how do I become a leader by helping someone, and placing them in that place so that I can lead them in the most
Yes.
appropriate way. I think
Absolutely.
that's the crux of what my takeaway is,
Yep.
Manali.
Absolutely.
So now I'm moving into another segment which is very close to your heart, Manali, right? And this is something which is very important, and this is something that I want my audience to please make a big note of, which is,
Mm-hmm.
what are some simple daily practices professionals can adopt to manage stress better, manage their emotions better, manage their well-being better, Manali?
Very important, because so the way we wake up in the morning, first thing what we do, probably just go to the washroom, run to the basin to brush our teeth. Do we miss out on these things in the morning ever? Do we do that? That, you know what, I'll skip brushing my teeth today and then go to work. Would that ever work? No, right? Certain things are um, kind of instilled into us. So the moment we wake up, for example, we rush to wash our face, we brush our teeth, and all the other things. Same way for each one of us, writing goals should be the most important thing. Now, I get a lot of questions when I do goal setting is why do we need to write our goals every day? We'll write goal once for the entire year and we are done. But how are you going to go back to them? So there's always going to be a breakthrough goal. But in order for me to reach my breakthrough goal, there are going to be milestone goals that I have to reach.
Correct.
And what am I going to do with those milestone goals? So am I going to just sit here and say, oh, you know what, I want $10 million right now, and that's my goal, I'm just going to sit and wait for 10 millions to come? That's not how it works. What I'm going to do is maybe break it down to 1 million, or half of that or something, and then write that on my goal book. And that's how we keep going about it. About stress, people get stressed because they're literally are that log of wood which gets thrown into the water, and the waves decide where they want to go. That's where stress starts building up.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So if I am in control, if I know what I'm going to do, if I know how am I going to pan out my entire day, I'm not going to say that stress would never come, but you know that you will be able to manage that stress. One more thing that I usually add to it is always EFT. EFT is close to my heart. It's tried, tested by me, by school children, by adults, by seniors, by everyone, by Anand, the Anand himself vouching for EFT. Imagine, I think we did just one session, it lasted for weeks, and it's usually suggested that you practice EFT once in the morning and once at night. So that would keep your stress away. You are in control of your emotions. One is EFT, obviously. Other thing, Anand, which I have been reading quite a lot, unfortunately, is bullying.
Mm.
Okay. That can be a completely separate topic for another day, but let me just kind of throw a little light on that. People seek for validation because, first of all, their powers are taken away from them. Yeah. And then someone else decides how they want to go ahead with their life, with the other person's life. So, for example, my manager does not appreciate me. My manager does not recognize me. I do so much of work, but nobody notices. For whom are you working for? First of all, what are your goals? Right? My goals are to work in this organization, earn this much of money, take care of my family, my health goals, my relationship goals, my professional goals. All those goals should be written. The reason why they should be written is there anywhere that somebody is deciding your worth written in your goal? No. Then you're not going to get stressed out, right? Somebody say, for example, there's favoritism, there's a little bit of biasness, and that will be there because human behavior is like that.
True.
I wish to reach out to every brain, every mind out there to say that start considering each other at least as humans first. After that, we'll put designations and all those kind of things to weigh a person down or do whatever. But in order, first of all, to kind of manage that stress is to understand what I need. And if someone else is trying to decide my worth, I am not going to give in. I am not going to give in. That is a really unfortunate incident that had happened quite recently, right? With one of the organizations, that a person got pressed so much that he had to really take extreme steps, leaving a family behind. I mean, as brutal as it may be, everywhere you're irreplaceable. You're replaceable, but with your family, you're irreplaceable. I mean, I cannot have another, son or another daughter or another husband or another wife, but they might get another associate director or another vice president like this. So it's important to love yourself first. EFT talks about loving yourself first, right? So when we do the tapping, we say that no matter what happens, I love myself first. I completely and truly love myself. So we start tapping over here, and that's how we go ahead and tell ourselves that it's all fine, and we calm ourselves down. So start with writing goals. Start with a little bit of EFT tapping. If you don't know what is EFT tapping, obviously there'll be people who can help you with it. If nothing helps, just jump wherever you are standing, just jump. Jumping a little bit also kind of gets that thing drained off you. Believe me, it works. Okay, it has been tried and tested. I'm not just saying it out of some random imagine in way you and I keep talking about things. Oh, what is this one? It's not that.
No,
It's
all of a
real.
sudden I'm going to start dumping Manali, and you might just see that,
That jump.
I've been-
Just jump. If you can't jump, just keep doing this to yourself. Like keep tapping your entire everybody. You'll start feeling that difference. My idea is I don't want to be loaded with something that someone would just throw at me. First of all, I need to know if I can duck or if I can catch. But I'm not going to get affected or hurt by that. That's simple.
Manali, a couple of things that I kind of gathered from this is one is how do I manage my stress, right?
Yeah.
By making sure I have my smaller goals that align to my larger goals. So that's one thing
Yes.
that I
Yeah.
understood. But a lot of
Mm.
times, I've also noticed, Manali, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of the stress
Mm.
is self instigated. It
Yes,
is
it is.
something that I would say 90% of the time, it is something that I have brought upon my own self.
Yes.
It is
Yes.
something that I have been thinking. It's my thought process, it is my emotion, and then that kind of acts onto my behavior, right? And then my
Yes.
body kind of gives into it. That's one thing.
Yes.
Second thing that I also understand is that it's very important for us to understand human worth,
Yeah.
right?
Same.
It's like, whether, and that's why I think the Indian Penal Code has removed the death sentence. There's
Yeah.
nothing that is more important than a human life, or any life for that matter, right? So I think um, it's very important for us to recognize that there is nothing more important than I.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yep.
that's the
First.
most important in the world. And the third thing is, I think this is somewhere you indicated that we are a race that seeks external validation a lot,
A lot. A lot. Yep.
right? If someone says that you've done a good job, is when I feel, yeah, I have done a great job. If someone
Correct.
doesn't say anything, which means, oh my God, what happened? Why is the person not
Mm.
saying anything? Why is the
Mm.
person not even acknowledging? Even that
Yeah.
acknowledgement has become so important amongst
Yes.
people. And an
Yeah.
acknowledgement is as equivalent to, a validation for
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know,
You're welcome.
but
Mm.
how important is that, Manali? Because in my opinion, if I know my credibility, if I know my capability, if I know my
Mm.
zeal, my
Mm.
power to process, my power to perform, I think that's sufficient. That's the most important validation one could ever have. But I
Yes.
think we are so conditioned
Mm.
as individuals,
Mm.
because of the society, because of how we've been brought up, and because of
Mm.
comparisons that we've had right from the beginning, right? इसको देखो ये कितना अच्छा कर रहा है, उसको देखो
हाँ.
वो कितना अच्छा कर रहा है,
हाँ.
मतलब शर्मा जी की बेटी,
Always. Yeah, yeah. With me, it was
right?
always some Sharma ji ki beti that I was getting compared with. While I was doing good at
Yeah,
sports, it was someone who was really scoring well in that exam. So how that person's right and how my sports is like nothing.
exactly. And my mom used to be very vulgar about certain things, and she used to compare. I don't want to get to that part of my story, but then the long and short of it is, that it is a social conditioning. It's a mindset
Yeah.
that's created, and I think we
Yeah.
have to be very mindful when we are raising our children that shouldn't be coming. Right? We shouldn't
Yes.
be comparing. We should not be doing all of that. So those are my takeaways from whatever you said, Manali, which was bang on, and it was like on dot. It was perfect. It was picture
Yeah.
perfect, I must say,
Thank you.
Manali.
Thank you. I want to add something to that as well. So, as what you rightly said, Anand, that it's important that you are, you love yourself so much that all those external validations and all those, oh, you're so good, and then I start feeling good, should not come. You have to trust in your capabilities. You need to trust in your, way of working, in your own leadership or whatever that you're doing. But at the same time, when I do those, first time leaders and first time managers kind of programs, even with the tenured leaders that I do programs, I always tell them that, it's important for you to look at everyone in your team. I have had people that I have trained who have 150 people reporting into them, and the entire workshop starts on the same tone that 150 people है कैसे manage करेंगे कैसे सबको देखेंगे. But then you do have your TLs and other hierarchy that has been broken down to take care of those people, right? So how do you manage to make sure that all those people are seen, when we are trying to make people super solid in trusting themselves, at the same time organizations require recognition. That's a part of any organization. So how do we recognize someone that goes out on a smoke break and a tea break with us every day? Is that the person I'm going to recognize, or somebody who doesn't choose to do that, just puts his head down or her head down and starts working and does everything on time, and that person is always taken for granted? We have so many people that I do so much work, but the chai sutta wala takes the certificate of rewards and recognition later. What do we do? So documenting, when I said, right, it's important for you to document what you've done.
True.
Every day, so for example, if I've had a 9-hour shift, just before that, like 15 minutes before the shift, even if you're working from home, even if you're working from office, it's important for you to write down the tasks that you've done. Is there anything that is pending for the next day? Is there anything that needs to be done today? Let's say if you want to work a little more, I would not recommend that, but let's say if that's the demand, then how are you finishing and how are you documenting? That helps you during your appraisal, because you're not the one possibly that goes on a chai sutta break, so nobody knows what you're doing. So the way it's on LinkedIn, you do this much and you show that much.
Very true.
But at least if not,
It's true,
yeah,
it is very true, Manali, that you will have to really market yourself
yes,
in a lot of ways today. And the
yeah,
right kind of marketing will fetch you the right kind of roles and positions and the kind of job that you
yes,
wish to do.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
yeah, so see, one very interesting thing that I could sense from what you just said is
Mm,
it is so you spoke about the 150 people, right,
mm,
and how to manage them, and then you
mm,
said that the hierarchy is broken down, but
yeah,
unfortunately leaders aren't able to create an impact through a ripple effect.
yes, yes,
You get where I'm
yes, a
coming
lot of
from,
times.
right?
Yeah,
It doesn't percolate down to
yeah,
the lower hierarchy. It kind of is there at, or it gets stuck
mm,
right somewhere in between, where the managers are not able to manage, or the TLs are not able to manage, or the team members don't
mm,
understand what the vision of it is at all.
yeah,
The
communication.
purpose,
Mm, yeah,
the goal, the
yeah,
objective is
yeah,
isn't clear at all, right? So
mm,
even when you're talking about transformation, you very beautifully said that what's my goal, what is it that I
mm,
want to achieve in my workshop with
yeah,
150 people, what
yes,
is it that I'm expecting them to start doing that they are not doing today
mm,
after the workshop,
mm,
right? So that clarifying of purpose is very, very important. And as a reader, I have to
absolutely.
have it very clear in my head.
Yes, yes. Where I am at right now, and where I want to be, and what are the steps that I'm going to take in order for me to reach out there. So that's very important.
Very, very important. Now,
Mm,
I have a very personal question for you, Manali. And
mm,
after this, we are going to not talk too much about you. We are going to get into the fun segment very shortly. Uh,
okay.
question to you is, I'm sure you have transformed so many lives. You worked with so many people on their transformational journey.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I want you to talk about that one
Mm,
individual whose
mm.
transformation you thought was difficult, but that individual made it happen and has stayed with you from then on.
Wow. Wow, that's heavy. If I would say that would be that, if I have to talk about one individual, I think that would be me. Because I am the most difficult person to get transformed, I feel. Um,
I
so
said
I
you're
had
a
to
handful.
work I had to work on myself first. to understand what transformation is, and then to move on to people. You cannot be somebody who just, like, sits there and preaches out, or, oh, I'm a coach, I'll coach you. But if I don't know, if I have not gone through it, what am I going to tell people? It's just going to be a shallow work. So, I mean, of course, I'll talk about that other person as well. But then I started with myself, because, like I told you, right, there were a lot of questions that I had, as I was growing up, and a really, really bad thing happened with me 5 years ago, Arun. I lost my father in the middle of, like, literally nowhere. This person, like, used to work out twice or thrice a day, had barely any medical conditions. He was absolutely fit and fine. In fact, the day he passed, he had cooked food for us. He had nothing. He was just absolutely fine, and it was just a shock. And on June 23rd, which is tomorrow, would be his 5 years. So, when that happened, first of all, when I went into the entire, stages of grief, denied everything, questioned everything, finally, when I accepted it, my thing was, first of all, the why. That why wasn't there anybody to warn me that something, but nothing was even happening to him. We just kind of, his heart stopped, and that was it. So I went to Bhagavad Gita. I started reading about soul and its journey. I kind of found my answers, which stabilized me. Then I went into transformation coaching as a certification as to what exactly happens with a human. The entire journey from inside started after that bad incident with me. I read a lot of books. I read autobiography of a yogi. I read Bhagavad Gita. I heard Gaur Gopal Das, Sadhguru, everyone, to understand how can I stabilize myself. So that transformation started with a shock, unfortunately. But then I was the most difficult one, because I questioned a lot of things. Then ChatGPT came in for rescue a little bit sometimes, as to why is this happening. Me, be my therapist and all of that. So it really helped me. I learned aura cleansing. I learned how to control my emotions, because I never knew how to. I never even, and in fact, a lot of people actually don't even know that your emotions can be controlled, right? I used to practice EFT 3 times that time. I used to meditate. I used to do yoga. All of those things helped me in transforming, helped me in refining myself, helped me in accepting things, no matter how painful they are. So that is actually me who, tried, because I know I'm the most difficult person, because nobody was there to help me, you know ideally I am supposed to be the one at that point in time. People who would come, to meet us after my father passed, they'll be like, oh, you know what, Manali, you're the stronger one now. You're supposed to take care of your mom. You're supposed to take care of your sister. But how are you assuming I am strong? Ask me if I am strong, if I can take it or not. I was not. But I had to put that layer onto myself, saying that, okay, you know what? Let me at least have that face in front of my mother where she feels that she can rely upon me, because a big void has happened now. Literally, a mountain is being moved for us. So, you know, a huge mountain, the support that we had, it's literally vanished, and there's a land that is flat now, barren. We don't know what to do. So then I have to be there. But at the same time, in the background, those background applications playing in your phone, same way my constant background apps were playing. What do I do with myself? How do I refine? What do I do in order to, stabilize myself? So all those things I worked upon, and I am me now, because I think I'm a stronger version of myself. So my father has always been my strength, and I think he became more of a strength. He taught me how to live without him, which I still am trying to. But at least he made me search for a lot of truths and facts in my life. So that is me, I would say. And I can talk about people that I have transformed. I have one person who was very difficult. She started with this one thing that, hey, ऐसे कुछ होता ही नहीं है, चलो, I'll just try out. I said, you can't just try out. You have to believe that something is going to happen with you. Otherwise, it's not going to happen with you. So I gave her one small exercise, okay, Anand. What I told her is just sit with your eyes closed, okay? Now imagine that you are in a garden. Okay, it's a vegetable garden. There are multiple vegetables there. This is there, that fruit is there, that vegetable is there. The garden, and then you come across a lemon tree. Okay, you see this lemon tree is huge. It has nice round lemons. over there. So you feel that, oh, you know what? I love a lemon. So you take that lemon off the tree and you feel like, wow, this is so nice. Let me try and smell it. Close your eyes and smell the lemon. What do you feel? Okay, then you feel, you know what, I really want to have lemon water. Can I search for something? You don't search, you're not able to get anything. So you bite the lemon and you get that sourness into your mouth. So when exactly right. So when she
I
was
can feel
doing
it
that in that
already.
right, exactly. So so when she was sitting with her eyes closed, I would see her do this something like that. So I'm like, your mind knows, okay, that is unleashing your potential. You know, your mind knows the taste of the lemon. So you're actually not in that garden, putting your teeth through that lemon, but you're actually getting that. So that is believing in yourself. You believe that you have that lemon. So that is how it works.
I already have my teeth that is kind of, clenching because of that plain thought. Oh my God. I mean, you've made it come. I mean, you made it come true in my case as well. So, all right. So very quickly, the final segment, Manali, wherein I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I want you to be very quick, no thinking, and it has to be in the first, max of 5 seconds. Okay, leadership or coaching?
Coaching.
One word that describes you.
Fantastic.
Stress buster that always works.
EFT.
One book every leader should read.
Wow. Seven Habits by Stephen Covey.
Okay. Introvert leaders or extrovert leaders?
I would say introvert because those are my work of art.
Okay, coffee, tea, or EFT?
EFT.
I know you would have said coffee if EFT was not a choice.
Coffee is with me.
All right. Okay. So complete this sentence. Transformation begins when?
When you start thinking that you want one.
Okay. So thank you so much, Manali. So today's conversation reminded us that leadership isn't just about managing teams, delivering results, or driving performance. It's about understanding people. It's about managing ourselves before managing others. And perhaps most importantly, it's about creating transformation that lasts long after the training room is empty. Thank you for your wisdom, experiences, practical insights with us today. And to everyone listening, remember the strongest leader aren't those who never feel stress. They are the ones who learn how to transform it into their strength. This is Anand Shankar, and you are listening to Beyond the PPT. So, Manali, I would request you to appeal to our audience to like, share, and subscribe to our channel Beyond the PPT.
Wow, that's amazing. First of all, I want to congratulate you, Anand, for starting this beautiful channel. This insightful energy and information that you bring in is beautiful. And the kind of human that you are, I have known you from decade, I think almost a decade now. You're my brother, you're my friend, you're the person that I can confine to. I can go with anything, and I know there'll be zero judgment over there. And that's how we mutually know each other. I have seen your journey, Anand, and I know it was not a joyride. I know it was bumpy. From where you were at to now, that's a fantastic transformation. I wish I could give you a hug from here. So take my virtual hug, bro.
There you go.
Yay! So you're doing a great job. So I really want everybody who's listening to us, especially to Anand and the kind of work that he's putting in, just kind of let it spread, share, subscribe, like, and you, I'm sure, are going to get a lot of information from this because this is raw, you guys. This is not something that we are practicing, or this is not something that we are reading out of anything. No, this is raw, this is straight out of our hearts, and this man out here is a pure soul. So I'm sure he's going to touch your life. So all the best to you, Anand, and to
Thank
all your
you.
viewers. I'm telling you all that you all have a gem. You have an entire encyclopedia of everything that you need out there. So all the best.
And the best part, Manali, is we did it in one take.
I know, right? Oh, yeah, we are just like rolling. Woo!
Yeah,
That's why I said
perfect.
straight from the heart.
Exactly. So, with that, thank you so much, Manali. I don't want to have a very formal closure. So, thank you very much. And I hope to have another round of discussion with you shortly
Sure.
because we've covered a very small segment of your
Yes.
overall journey. So, I would
Yeah.
I would look forward to having another conversation and probably, have another round of
Likewise.
chai coffee very soon. Yeah. So, thank you so much. Have a
Yes.
wonderful evening ahead. Bye bye.
You too, Baba. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye.